Hello, welcome to the channel. Today we're by a log which people put birdseed on, right in the middle of a car park, so hopefully we'll get a good comparison. Right, that's not a good start to the video. The Sigma lens sounds like a muted machine gun. The mechanical noise has been transferred up into the mic. So every time the focus goes in or out, we get a lot of noise, which tells me two things. I need an external mic, and if you look at the stabilization, which is probably switched off, I also need a tripod. Okay, stills are another matter. Not a problem. No microphone recording anything, so we'll get onto those. To tell you the truth, I couldn't tell a lot of difference. Both lenses performed very well, and looking at them initially, both seemed adequately sharp. Not a problem with either of them. In fact, if you did a blind test, I doubt you'd tell the difference. I think if I had to choose between them, I'd probably go for the Sigma. Mainly because it's got an extra bit of reach, both ends. Right, the next clip, I've transferred lenses for video, so we're using the Canon 100-400 to do the video. Most of all, that shows you how difficult it is photographing these birds. They're in out the frame like a dose of salts. It's so quick, it will be very difficult to do an actual video. If you find birds this size are a little small in the frame, with either lens you can always use a crop mode. I'm using the R6 for this video as well, and I can get in closer, crop out the wasted pixels, as long as I'm not getting the bird leaping out when I'm not expecting it and expecting it to flap its wings, which birds this size don't tend to at all. So I can get a little bit tighter in with a 1.6 crop. I did try the 1.4 extender on the Sigma. Didn't like it at all. Spent all its time hunting in and out trying to grab the focus. But as shooting on a mirrorless camera, the 100-400 works with a 2x converter because it's not restricted by the f-stop. It works brilliantly well on the Canon. So I'm in effect got 100 to 800mm lens. As I was by a large pond, I thought I'd try my luck at something slightly larger. Right, more than anything else, that proves that a mandarin duck can paddle very fast. Okay, have I changed my mind? Do I still think the Sigma's the best bet? Maybe, maybe not. The advantage of the Canon 100-400 is I can use a 2x converter. Gets me an extra reach. Also, it does focus a little bit quicker. A point to note is that if I'm shooting video and it seems to lose the subject, just touching the shutter button, because I've got autofocus on the shutter button as well, I can grab the subject again and run through. But these tiny birds are a nightmare. If you're on a budget, I'd say the Sigma's a slightly better bet. It's likely to be cheaper. I'm using a 50-500 because I've got one, rather old. But it is OS, it does have stabilisation. You can probably pick these second hand for about 650 quid. If you want a second hand 100-400 Canon, you're looking more 1400 quid. If you prefer to go for a new lens, the Sigma, which is now, the current one is a 60-600, which gives a little bit more reach again. It's quite a bit cheaper. Well, I think we're talking about 1700 as opposed to something like 2400. If we're going to spend 2.5 grand and we're running a R5 or an R6, may think that it's worth spending a few more, another 400 or 500 quid and getting the 100-500 RF lens. Disadvantage of that, you've got to spend another 700 quid if you want a 2x converter for it. Extender, sorry, apologies to Canon. This venture into YouTube instructional entertainment, it's partially been inspired by other YouTube videos which I've watched, which have been very inspiring. A couple of Australians, Dwayne Patton and Jan Wegener, I'll have to check on that, who photograph all these wonderful colourful birds in Australia and do a grand job. Okay, that's about it. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments. I hope you liked it. Perhaps you'd like to subscribe to the channel. I think you can tick a bell and you get notified or something like that. I will reserve final judgment as to what lens I really preferred, but I'll give you a clue. It has something to do with price and the fact that I've already got a 50-500. Thanks to Steve for lending me his 100-400 Canon. Enjoy yourselves until the next video. Bye.